Well, let's talk about the carbon pricing issue then, since we're going in that direction. Trudeau does seem to suggest that the federal government itself will set a price if all provinces can't agree on one. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I have great concerns about that. I mean, we've agreed to a new working group at the last meeting of the premiers and the prime minister. A number of working groups, but one of them was going to expressly look at the issue of carbon pricing. And now the prime minister and the federal environment minister seem to have predetermined the outcome of that working group, and that's not collaborative federalism, and that's not what we agreed to. So I have some concerns. Moreover, in Saskatchewan, we have a concern about a new national carbon tax at a time when our economy can least afford it. The energy sector is still reeling, obviously from low prices. Can you imagine, for example, the specter of a government, say back in 2009, musing about a new national auto manufacturers tax when that sector was reeling as a result of a major recession? This is analogous to that. A carbon tax will disproportionately impact the sector, the energy sector, a very important sector in this country. It'll disproportionately impact it at a time when obviously that impact can be least afforded. So we oppose a national carbon tax, and what's worrisome is now we have the Prime Minister and his Environment Minister seemingly predetermining the outcome of the working group, and so those are a couple of major concerns on that front.
Yes, well, the federal government has made commitments on a global scale to some of those changes to our environment output, our carbon output, our emissions output, I should say.
Well, here's my concern. I think there's three reasonable responses Canadians can make to climate change. We can come together and focus on adaptation because we see the effects of climate change here in the north. And we need to be helping territories and helping others that are affected by those changes. That's point number one. Point number two, Canadians can engage in domestic action, reducing our own emissions. And I guess that's where this discussion of cap and trade or carbon taxes comes into. And thirdly, we can focus on the global challenge. Canada is responsible for 1.6% of global emissions, and yet we're disproportionately focused, almost exclusively focused on the domestic front, risking the economy, risking the energy sector in the process. We think we should be focused on Canada providing technological solutions to the world. There are 1,000 coal plants on the books or being built around the world as we speak. And we're focused on this 1.6% of the emissions in Canada. We need to do better in this country, but our view is that we're approaching this, we're taking a tact when we talk about carbon taxes and cap and trade, where we're going to risk the economy for new taxes with the least possible impact on the global challenge. We need to reverse that. We need to take an approach where we're going to have a global impact through technology, through things like carbon capture and cleaner coal technology, which will have the least chance of harming the economy as we head down the right direction in terms of fighting climate change.
Brad Wall, the Premier of Saskatchewan, appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on the program today.